And welcome to Music Technology Online. My name is Dan Krischer, and we're going to be going over the new Jupiter-80 version 2.0 update that will be available at the beginning of April of this year. And this is a very, very exciting new update. This basically adds a little bit of everything to the Jupiter-80. If you're a performer, there's features for you. If you're a sound designer, there's lots of new features for you. And if you're somebody who uses a Jupiter-80 in the studio, same thing, lots and lots of new features. So I'm going to talk about 5 main new features that have been added. One is something called a new registration play screen. Also, there's new sounds that have been added as part of version 2.0. There's also a new set of modeled filters added to the synth section, supernatural filters. And also, the multi-effects have been reorganized. So there's more options. You can actually route the multi-effects in either serial, parallel, or a combination of. And now also ACT integration. So if you're a Sonar X1 user, you can use the Jupiter-80 as a control surface for ACT compliant plugins in Sonar X1 or also with other products that use ACT. So what I want to talk about first is the new registration play screen and also the new sounds that are part of version 2.0. Now, I'm going to switch over to the Jupiter. And as you can see, I'm parked here in the system menu, and there's a reason why. I've just updated my Jupiter-80, and I'm going to go to factory reset, and I'm going to perform factory reset. And what that's going to do is that's going to bring up the new version 2.0 sounds. And the Jupiter-80 basically adds 2 sound sets. There's the version 1.0 sound set, which still resides within the Jupiter-80, and now also the new version 2.0. So very similarly to how Roland updated the V-Synth GT to version 2.0, you had different sound sets inside. You had a version 1 sound set, a version 2 sound set, etc. So same thing with the Jupiter-80. You have a version 1 and a version 2 sound set, and with the library utility, which resides within the Jupiter-80, you can trade sounds between the sound sets themselves. So I'm going to switch off the power back up the Jupiter-80. And obviously, if you have built-up tones or custom live sets or registrations within the Jupiter-80, you will want to back those up to a USB key or to your PC or Mac before updating to version 2.0 so you don't lose that work. So now we're at the new registration play screen. And also we're looking at the new version 2.0 sounds. Now, the new registration play screen is a really great environment for live performers in that it easily shows you your 8 main registrations for a bank within the screen. It shows you the split and layer status. There's an advanced button here on the right-hand side, and then on the left-hand side, there's a previous button to go back. If you press this icon here, you can go to what I would call regular either single part play or registration play. And I'd probably call this now the registration program view of the Jupiter-80. If you want to slip back to registration play, there you go. It's that easy. And let's take a listen to some of the sounds. Very first sound is a classic Jupiter-8 sound. So really nice Jupiter-8 emulation there. Also some really great modern sounds as well. Lots and lots of great new sounds. So again, all part of new version 2.0. So not just new registrations, but you also find new live sets and new tones as well. So let's talk about our other new feature that we have as part of version 2.0, and that is the new modeled filters. And the new modeled filters, these are modeled through the Jupiter-80's supernatural technology, and basically what's being added are 3 new filters. There's a supernatural modeling of the Jupiter-80 filter set. There's also supernatural modeling of the classic Moog Mini Moog filter set. Also, a supernatural modeling of the sequential circuits Prophet 5 filter set. So let's take a look at those. So we'll slip back to the Jupiter-80 and we'll go back to regular single part play mode. I'll pull up a synth lead and I'm going to go to a single synth sound. And to make this really obvious as far as the new filters, I'm going to just go to one oscillator and let's go to just a classic square wave. So there we go. All right. And the very first filter that we have is the low pass filter 1, which everybody's familiar with. Now we'll go to the Jupiter-80 emulation. So like the Jupiter-80, you get that real wetness that's characteristic of the Jupiter-80 filter set. So let's go to the next filter, which is the Mini Moog filter. And I'm going to start with my filter, my resonance, my cutoff all the way down so you can hear this as we sweep it. So again, really, really cool. You get that really classic Mini Moog sound. And finally, we'll go to the behavior for the sequential circuits filter set. If you've ever played a Prophet 5, the filter's got some really interesting characteristics about it in that it's got some hot places in it. So as you're sweeping the low pass, and if the resonance is high, you'll hit those hot spots, which again, that's one of the characteristics of the sequential circuits Prophet set, sequential circuits filter set. So let's go on to our next feature, which is the new multi-effects routing. And again, what the Jupiter-80 has added is the ability to route your effects either in serial or in parallel. And we'll take a look at that by going to our effects screen. So, as you can see right here, there's an icon at the very far right hand side, and if you simply touch that and turn the dial, you can take and you can see how I'm changing the routing of the filters here on the right hand side. And I can also press enter and get a list of those different structures as well. So this is really great because now you've got the capability of lining up all your effects in, again, a serial mode or a combination thereof, which comes in really handy for building up really fat bass sounds, really fat pad sounds, etc. So, if that's not enough, then we also have, for Sonar users, we have new ACT integration. And ACT stands for Active Controller Technology. and it's a technology that's prevalent in cakewalk products. So if you have an ACT compliant soft synth, or there's features in Sonar X1 or other cakewalk products that use ACT technology, then you can take and you can control those functions from a MIDI keyboard controller or another type of MIDI controller. So let's check it out. This is what we get now with version 2.0. So if we go to our system menu and we go to our next page, you'll see ACT. And if we turn on ACT, now the Jupiter-80 acts as an ACT MIDI controller. You'll actually see here there's an icon that displays the buttons and sliders, the knobs, also the transport controls, all then automatically map to whatever ACT compliant synthesizer or product that you're using. So if you're using something like Zeta, then these controls would then be able to operate the functions within Zeta. And if you go to the main play menu, you'll see that ACT becomes one of your performance functions. So we can go back, press that icon, and slip out of that. So that is just a simple overview of version 2.0 for the Jupiter-80. And again, this is going to be available in April, and it'll be available from the Roland US website. Just go to the Jupiter-80 product page, and you'll find it there. There's also a dedicated Jupiter-80 microsite. If you go to that, then the update will also be there as well. So, my name is Dan Krischer for Music Technology Online. Go to our website. That's at music-technology-online. And if you're interested, you can sign up for our online classes or seminars that we teach on a variety of different Roland products. So, thank you for watching, and you have a great night.